is CoCoTALK, the nation's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy color computer. With your host, Mr. Gameplay Goodness himself, Stevie Stroud.
Hi, this is Dale Lear, designer of TRS-80 Color Baseball, and you're listening to CoCoTALK.
This is CoCoTALK, the nation's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy color computer. With your host, Mr. Gameplay Goodness himself, Stevie Stroud. All right, everybody, live from the internet, we bring you this week's episode of CoCoTALK, the nation's leading color computer talk show. Matter of fact, probably, other than the Coco Fest, the only color computer talk show. This week is sponsored by Popstar Pilot. It is a crunchy, nutritious cereal that is filled with MSG and crystal meth. And we want to invite all you kids to pour yourself a bowl of Popstar Pilot Crunchios and drink your Ovaltine. Welcome to another week of CoCoTALK, the nation's leading color computer talk show. Despite the fact it's the only live color computer talk show, we are leading the nation in color computer live talk shows, I'll have you know.
So we're going on the internet now?
We are going on the internet. Yeah, hello everybody. Hello. Welcome to week number 3 of CoCoTALK. CoCoTALK is now fast becoming the hottest weekly talk show featuring the Tandy color computer, because we've done this now 3 weeks in a row. God knows why. I guess we just like to hear ourselves speak. We've got a full panel. We've got another bevy of babes and beauties with us. The great thing about this show is not only is there a great amount of technical content, but there's no shortage of eye candy either. So it appeals to a wide range of viewers.
I'm too sexy for my love, too sexy for my love, love's going to leave me. It hurts, and I am too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York and Japan.
David Ladd. Mr. Ron Delvaux is with us. From Saskatchewan. How the hell do you pronounce that little third world rock you live on, Curtis?
You pronounce it damn cold.
From somewhere up there where it's really damn cold, L. Curtis Boyle's with us. G'day, Curtis.
Good day.
All right, good.
So you pronounce it, so scratch me one.
So scratch.
It's just like winter peg.
Same deal.
And of
All
course,
right.
John's got to go through and show that he's in the witness protection program. Matter of fact, both guys on the
Wait a
program
second.
are
Wait
in
a
the witness
second.
protection program.
I tell you what, that my row is one talented mofo because everything he produces is just pure gold, and I got chills. Watching that gave me chills. It kind of is like, you know, the eve before CoCo Fest is kind of like Christmas Eve, and now before Tandy Assembly, we've got that Christmas Eve feeling all over again. It's pretty cool. It's a chance to get together with your fellow freaks and fly your freak flag, you know. Oh, speaking of freaks, Simon Jonason has joined us. What a segue. Hey, Simon, the madman is here. Yeah, not a fan of that at all. And I think Mark Overholz and I were talking about this recently, too. We were just chatting in a car drive. But what do you think about being called a geek if you're in IT? And honestly, I'm not a fan of that either. Whereas, you know, Best Buy tried to hipsterize the term Geek Squad to make geek chic. And I will admit that in general, I am a geek. The fact I'm playing with a color computer and I collect old things and I have action figures on display and I have comic books and things like that. Yes, I'm not going to defend the fact I'm a geek. But when it comes to the fact that I do IT for a living, I don't want to think of myself as a geek or be referred to as anyone's geek. You know what I mean? I'm a professional. I've spent many years.
Maybe we should have a pocket protector with the CoCoTALK logo on it.
Actually, you might qualify as a nerd instead. I'm not sure.
They're just not.
I might buy that.
Yeah, David Ladd is known to wear a pocket protector on many occasions. Steve Bjork just chimed in. He says, assembly only. And Nick Marenta says, I have an OS 9 question.
Ease of use.
There
Come on. Now, I worked on the Pascal project back down San Diego. And interesting enough, Pascal was written in Pascal.
Here comes that chicken and egg thing.
Yeah. The only thing is you couldn't use any new improvements to the language until it was at least 2 versions old.
Yeah, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it was a bad language. I've written stuff in Pascal, but it's not one that I would recommend for a computer beginner.
Well, you also like OS 9, but we won't get into it.
Shots fired.
Hey, no touching OS 9.
So it is, it's a bunch of people here yentering it up here, a bunch of cackling hens talking about whatever, and we've never. Go ahead, John.
Don't be hating.
Don't be hating. And we've never ever taken anything too far. Everything has always been concise and well structured.
Well planned.
You want to reclassify that?
Floppy talk.
So the length of the show is definitely based on the fact that there's no real plan for it.
Yes, yeah. The way I like to say this is well-managed chaos, and or slightly managed chaos is probably.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
term.
I don't know about the well-managed part.
Yeah, slightly managed chaos, and it's definitely a train wreck waiting to happen. And so far, the train has managed to stay on the rails most of the time until we start going down the OS 9 path. But Michael Newman says, I lost many of a Daggerath save to an unreliable tape. That's got to be a terrible lesson to... Bruce Moore says, cassette talk. No!
Yes, Bruce. We're going to start cassette talk.
The main focus of today's episode is what you're seeing right here on the screen, which we'll be talking about today. But it's Rick Adams' bomb threat, and we have Rick Adams here with us. However, but we got something.
I did not either, so
we have something more exciting than Nitrous 9 to talk about this week, and that's bomb threat. But before we get into bomb threat, why don't we start our little segment of how was your week this week and what's new and exciting and all that good stuff. Anybody want to kick that off?
To quote Mel Brooks, it's like work. That's all I've been doing.
Right.
On that third-rate introduction, I give you, ladies and gentlemen, Rick Adams, and I'll let you take it from here, Rick.
Well, everybody's heard the story, I think, pretty much. I'll try to give you the 50,000-foot view version. Back in, obviously, 1984, I tried to market this to Tandy, and they sort of nibbled at it for a bit, but they eventually decided, no, we don't want to buy that game. So I tried to shop it around to some other places, and they didn't seem to want it either. So it just sort of languished in my basement for many, many long years. And so my kids loved playing the game when they were kids. And they called it the tractor game, because that little blue thing running around, they called it the tractor. It's actually a forklift. And so they were talking about it one day, and they said, Dad can't find it. And, I had gone down to the basement many times and tried to look for, I knew right where the floppies were that had the game on it. And they weren't there. And I can't find it. I've gone down there many times, and I've turned the house upside down. And they're simply gone. So they said, yes, but remember, he used to go to school on show and tell day, and he'd show the class, here's my games that I'm working on. And he did a, whoops. Are we still here?
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay. My screen just totally glitched weird.
Yeah,
anyway.
I made a few changes because your sound was breaking up really bad. I was trying to see if I could change a few things on my end.
Sure. So there was a VCR tape of him playing the game, and that's the only thing from the original game. So I put that on YouTube, and a number of people were talking about it, and I went to CoCo Fest, and people started teaching me how to, how do you do a color computer development environment these days. It's a little different than, using an EditSM plus cartridge. And so I decided to start programming the game from scratch and sort of used the gameplay video that was on YouTube as a guide and came up with the game, just out of nothing. So, and, just as much as I could remember. So that's the story. So I'm pretty much done. There's a few things I want to do beyond this. Like I want to do like a CoCo 3 version that doesn't use composite and artifact colors. I want to get away from the artifact colors because you don't really have to do that these days. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's been pretty much how it was.
I was also wondering, like you were mentioning, like, it ramps up at certain levels, and at certain levels, certain things kick in. But you don't have the level displayed on the screen, do you?
No, I don't.
So that might be something if you have room for it.
Yeah, that would be helpful too, and kind of give you the progression feel,
Especially with two players, you can see who's farther. And, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep.
Bragging rights and and screenshots show the community. Hey, I got to level 17.
Yeah, true.
And for Steve's version, you only need one digit, so you'd be fine.
Wow, this is great. So this is what it feels like to be Curtis and David.
I know what Dave feels. Level 4.
Or until you die. I haven't died yet.
Yeah, but if you die at level 1, it's not a lot invested, right?
Heavy. Ooh, 2 dragons. What do you think?
You give them your money or you magic them.
I'm going for it.
You're crazy, man.
Going for it, man. Going for it. Oh, shit.
Yeah, you're crazy.
All right.
Yeah, but how are you going to survive whatever? Oh, well, but is that going to work? Because you're there.
I don't know. This is the problem I've had before.
You're not going to work, man.
Ah, son of a bitch.
Ah.
Oh, man.
Heavy footsteps. Fee, fi, fo, fum.
Here it is.
Two
Oh.
Cyclops.
You get spells, you take these guys.
Yeah, I need them. I need the spells. You bash one with your shield. How's my health doing? You chop one in the side. One falls dead. You missed. You missed. You missed. You missed. My God, there's my health going down. You slash one with your sword. Dang it.
Uh-oh. The good thing is, right there.
Yeah. Alright. The dancing buzzer. I have an ornate mirror. Yes.
Yes, that's great.
I got the mirror.
Yay!
Alright. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Heavy footsteps. 4 stone giants. Let's see if I can put them to sleep. Invisible. Heavy footsteps. 4 Cyclops. I think I can take these guys. Chop one on the side. Man, there's still a bunch of them here and my health is... Alright. Time to charm these sons of biscuits. Son of a bitch. I'm gonna have to bribe my way through here. 6 Minotaurs. Oh man.
Oh my God.
These Cyclops.
Oh no.
If you're just joining us, we're just waiting to see when Stevie Rage.
Hulk smash! Yeah, so when your health is like super low, just bribe your way to the end.
Exactly.
Money talks.
Can't take it with you.
Money talks, all else walks. Nobody rides for free. Yeah, 9-8 Essie. Loud footsteps. Oh man. 2 Medusas. Alright, we're gonna go for the... Oh, they got me! Okay.
Oh!
Can't even rage.
Oh, shit.
I guess you should have had a mirror. Oh,
It's
wow.
coming. Wait for it. It's coming.
Too bad you didn't have a mirror.
Just to rub your face in it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
USB.
Yeah, who needs USB, Curtis?
What do you need USB for, right? CoCo doesn't have it.
It's got the bit banger. Do you really need USB?
Right? A giant rat.
A giant rat or a giant rat A?
Giant rat, eh?
Depends very strongly.
There you go.
Keep hearing Darth Vader on here.
And I am slain.
Oh, Paul, take
What happened?
It's still anybody's game, folks.
Did Paul? You get killed, Paul?
I did. I was 2 squares away.
Oh man, unlike Grant Leedy, I take no pleasure in the fact that you did not win this game. I sincerely feel bad for that, sir. Oh crap!
That's the closest I've gotten on terrifying level, though.
Holy crap! I'm down to 300 health.
Ooh, I got the spell book.
Stevie, I don't know how you're gonna make it over there.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Give him your money. Maybe half your money.
Bribed.
Whoa, pressure's on now. Oh. The goblins are gonna get you.
Run, Stevie,
Bribe
run.
him.
Grant is offering his what? Grant is offering his support.
Nice job, Steve.
You are lucky to be alive. Welcome to the Midnight Pony Inn. You spent 0 gold pieces. I had no money. Oh my God. You are lucky to be alive. You are not kidding me. Spells won't work against an old spelled book for $12.29. I'm just short of it. I don't have it. You trying to rip me off? Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. So basically, think of it this way. You know what oatmeal is, right?
Yep.
Oatmeal is, basically oatmeal is made out of oats. So grits is like oatmeal, but it's just made out of ground corn, like cornmeal instead of.
That doesn't sound that bad.
And the way I like, people like grits different ways, but I just like melted butter and salt in my grits. Some people like cheese grits, which I mean, I can live without the cheese grits, but some people swear by cheese grits. I just like traditional grits with just, some melted butter and some salt.
Oh, that's not good.
I can't.
You don't think they're going to take your 21 gold pieces?
I'll try. There's only one left. Damn it. That's twice in one night I've died.
I know the feeling. I've been there.
I was almost to level 7 too.
Yeah, it was time for a beverage.
Yeah, I was about in the same boat. 7 rats leap out in front of you. Alright, can I survive rats? That was a spawn, man. These guys got me as soon as I spawned. But I also have an inn right on my initial screen. How fortuitous is that? Alright. Do, 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 do. The music gets stuck in your head after a while, doesn't it? A bandit attacks you.
It's in there.
A bandit. 10 of my gold, you son of a biscuit. This is it.
Run. You can't run. Okay. You can't hide. You could offer all your money, but I don't know.
Ooh, 370. Oh, not. Man, getting out of that forest is hard.
And that's how it goes, man. You win some, you lose 3. There's a free space, at least. Try your magic book on him.
Why not?
You get more spells. You're slicing them.
Slicing, dicing, Ginsu.
A lot of gold. You have less. Do you want to enter again? No.
No, I do not.
Having bravely successfully retrieved the King's Scepter, he has named you the Duke of Doom.
Well done,
you did it.
Man.
You did it.
I guess I should take a picture of that and send it to Bruce, huh?
Yeah, we got it on the internet, but yeah, take a picture.
Congratulations.
You made it?
He did it.
He did it.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, it's Original Gamer Stevie Stroh, and welcome to a brand new segment of the show that we call the Pandering segment. And this is where we ask you to help support our efforts by checking out our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com, where you can grab yourself a coffee mug like this, or maybe like this, or maybe one of the even cool new deluxe travel mugs, possibly even a DVD featuring some gameplay goodness. All of the proceeds that we get from the Retro Swag Shop go right back into the production and hosting costs of the show, as well as compensating the artist Joel Adams, who designs all these cool things for us. So consider supporting our endeavors by picking yourself up a piece of merchandise from 8bit256.com. On top of that, if you'd really like to help out the show on a long-term basis, we've got a brand new Patreon site where you can support us with regular contributions, and you can visit us there at patreon.com/OGStevieShow. However, we'll keep it real simple. Visit us on the web at CoCoTalk.live, and you can get all the information there. And while you're there, why not send us an email to CoCoTalk@CoCoTalk.live. We'd love to hear some feedback from you, some suggestions for future show ideas and topics, and maybe even submit a segment or bumper yourself. The show wouldn't be anything without you, and we appreciate all of your support. And Michael Rowan set this up. It's a 300 baud bulletin board system. It's configured like this: computer to modem to telephone simulator to modem to computer. That doesn't at all sound complicated. Because CoCo. Why do we do these things? Because CoCo. You know, it's always a cool thing when you have a little community, and it's more difficult to get a group of people together in person. It seems like these are the once-a-year events, and if you're lucky, you can maybe go to more than one per year. But for me, you know, these past 2 years going to CoCo Fest, it costs some money for the hotel and the airfare and all these things. So as much as I would love to travel the world and go to every geeky computer show I can, you kind of have to balance the time, your life, and your finances, you know. So to have a little gathering like that is kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, a little local group.
Yeah, yeah. David, you with us? Is David Ladd still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah. So David went to his computer club. Why don't you tell us about your club real quick, too? Because you were telling me the other day, and I thought that was pretty neat, because it's been in existence a long time, and you guys still meet.
Yeah, 1986.
What's the name of your club?
It's now called the Metro Area Personal Computer Club. It used to be called the Metro Area Color Computer Club back in the 80s and 90s. But, yeah, they started taking regular PCs.
Oh, letting in all the outsiders, huh?
Yep.
And you meet, what, monthly?
Yeah, once a month on the third Tuesday.
And you say you usually get about 20 people to show up to these things?
Between 10 and 20.
Yeah, that's actually not bad.
Do you guys actually do this like at a library or a public place, or is it at somebody's house, or how do you guys organize it?
Well, we used to meet at a business that I won't discuss, and now we're meeting at a new location that is just off the interstate in Council Bluffs.
And so for those who don't know where you live, what city is this in?
Well, the club is held in Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Iowa. All right. And what's the last 4 digits of your social security number again?
And all your passwords, please.
Yeah. So this is in Iowa. And it's been going on since the mid-'80s. You're still meeting once a month. You still get an average of, a dozen to 2 dozen people showing up on a monthly basis for over 30 years. That's pretty impressive. And do you guys do like show and tells? You show off projects and bring in hardware and software projects to share with the group?
There's some of us that do demos. Back in the 80s and 90s, we had quite a few people that was into doing PC repair or some form of electronics or hardware, but there's only like 3 people that's in the club that do that routinely. So most of the people that's in the club now are just regular users.
Okay.
So It's more like, there are demos that the end users will do, like different software, video editors, or things like that. But yeah.
So is it now more focused on current technology and less on vintage technology?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so it is a computer club. It's not necessarily a strictly vintage computer club.
Right.
Okay, but you're still meeting, and that's still pretty cool in itself. And I'm assuming sometimes you guys do talk about vintage stuff at your meetings and everything?
Sometimes when I bring it up.
Okay. Because I think you mentioned you were showing off your circuit board prototype for your PS2 mouse adapter for the CoCo.
Yes, I was showing my demo this last month was for how to use Eagle and how I set up the board layout.
Okay, so you're showing people how to design circuit boards on a modern system?
Yes.
That's cool. That's interesting too. Okay.
And I think it's one of those game developers conference talks that Nick's games were mentioned by one of the Tier City Model 1 people, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
What was it? Was it Donut Dilemma being called the greatest Donkey Kong game ever written for the TRS-80?
By the greatest donkey.
At least you didn't call yourself an ass, but...
On things. Here comes Bill Noble, eh? Bill Noble's coming in. How's it going, eh?
Hey.
Hey, Bill.
All right. Complete with background noise. What show are we watching there? Days of Our Lives?
No, that's the wife.
Days of Our Real Lives.
Days of Your Lives.
Yeah, days of our wives.
There you go. Yeah, I did 23 hours driving the first day and then the rest on the second day. So
that is crazy.
Far. That's quite a testament to your devotion to this computer.
Or insanity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Can it be both?
Yeah, exactly. Insanely devoted.
That clip that you did of me, the thing I posted that up on my Facebook page, and I got one comment from a good friend that just said geek. So I said underline. So I said Sir Geek to you, commenter.
That's Sir Geek.
Yeah.
When it comes to geekdom, you have reached legendary status. So I think the problem with mentioning a favorite is then you are almost saying that nothing else compared, and it's just not fair. It's like trying to pick a favorite child, you know. Although on some days it's an easier decision than others, but John Robbs is mentioning also the Rainbow Collection that Neil was it Neil Brookins?
Neil Brookings, yeah.
Neil Brookins got
Neil Brookings of the CoCoCat podcast.
The CoCoCat. So that was a nice collection of Rainbow magazines and binders and everything else there too. That was pretty good.
Binders. Neil didn't even know about the binders until he came here last year, and I have several. I have a bunch of binders, not quite complete collection, but enough other binders to fill out the collection. He'd never seen them, and so he's kind of been enamored with them, and looking for them, and so then they showed up there, and his eyes were, this big around.
Yeah.
About that.
Binders full of rainbow, to paraphrase a certain U.S. politician.
Binders full of rainbow.
Right. So I had to goad him into bidding a little extra, but he got him.
Okay. Yeah. Matt Witt was saying, I'll never forget the amount of stuff Neil bought from Wally last year, and watching him and John try to fit it in John's truck.
Yeah.
Last year, Wally was bidding against himself. Every time he would bid on something, he would bid again and raise it. Hey, Steve, it was great to have you here. It was great to meet you in person for the first time. Loved your laser light show. That was very cool to see.
I was impressed. There were at least 3 people, and I think you're one of them, who did not ride the original Color Computer Wave but came in afterwards. And that's kind of weird, although I've also seen people who like retro music and stuff like that. I was born after World War II, not much, but I always enjoy all that old music and all those old movies. So there is a certain charm. It's sort of a emotional it's like nostalgia, but you didn't have it to begin with. You know, it's like a nostalgia of a previous life that you look at things of the past. So I was also impressed with the way the social aspect of it. Tony was just unbelievable in some of the things he said to me. Like, he's way over the top being friendly. And it took me a little while to figure that out, that this is a very tight community. And a lot of people are in there mainly for the camaraderie, I think.
Yeah.
You've got the camaraderie of just people, and plus the fact that you're all interested in the same thing and how important that is. The reason I stopped producing stuff is because there was nobody else interested. I had tried to get some of the kids in the neighborhood interested, and they go, that's neat, but they've got other interests. So, you know, its time has come. I'm moving on. I got rid of all my stuff, and yes, I got back, and I'm thinking, oh shit, I can't produce anything. Even if I want to fix something, I got rid of all the computers and all of them, the multi-card, you know, the interfaces, and my D-Day. I give my last D-Day back to John, over to John. I got to move on. Life has its...
I'll make you a good deal on the TDP 100. How about that?
and I bet it works.
It works good, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I keep thinking, you know, what would happen if in the next year something really serious would happen, such that I all of a sudden really had to get back into this stuff. I'd have to go back there and buy all that stuff back.
You can get a good deal in the auction.
But like I've been telling people, you know, at this late in life to have a midlife crisis is really kind of fascinating, because it means I'm going to live to be 142 years old. I'm just going to have to find another mate.
God bless you. Oh, man. In the UK, we have David Ladd from Parts Unknown, from Medical Experimental Laboratories and other genetic research. Richard Lorbieski is here for the first time ever in recorded history. Paul Thayer is here. Welcome, Paul. John Strong. John T. Robbs is here. Hey, John, how are you? I think this might be one of the first or second time you're with us. Bill Noble, as always, looking lovely as ever.
Yep.
And the lovely and talented L. Curtis Boyle. And the L is for lazy.
Lackadaisical.
Lackadaisical, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because I just joined the list a while back, and I was kind of lurking for a while just to kind of get a feel of how things worked on the list before I posted something. So the first time I posted something, of course, what am I going to talk about? Well, my project, of course.
Sure. So have you figured out how that list works? Because I've been lurking it for quite some time. I still don't have a clue. It really seems to be, it seems to be, sometimes there's a really interesting topic on there. Sometimes the things people want to talk to about ad nauseum are things like, well, who owns the ROMs and how are we going to get these ROMs, and, you know, other things that we'll never ever really have a full control of. But
anytime you have a discussion of copyrights, you're going to get a lot of heat and not much light.
There's a lot of opinion on this.
Yes, all the potential LegalZoom employees are all chiming in now. So,
yeah,
LegalZoom is not
everybody
a law
has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, and 90% of them are wrong.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
Right.
But you got to hear all.
Most people discuss legally what they would like it to be in the law.
Yes.
Most of them have no idea what the actual law is.
And the old slogan about opinions the opinions are like your derriere. Everyone has one, and they all stink. Or
right.
Yeah.
So
no one wants to see yours.
I am now. But anyways, MAME. I think MAME is a compelling product to consider, and we'll try to demystify it a little bit, because for as many cool things as it does, there are lots of other MAME things it does, and it's the MAME things that MAME does that do present, let's just say, some idiosyncrasies. Challenges. So.
Bruce.
Hey, Bruce. How you doing?
Hey, guys. Good. I had a real spooky experience with Phantom Slayer when I was a kid at Christmas time.
You know what's funny is Curtis talks very highly about that game too, and I had never played it before, and I think the first time I played it was during a live stream, and Curtis was with me, but Curtis is watching it, like on a 10-second delay, so he's trying to help me in a non-timely manner, and that was my first experience playing it like about a year ago. But yeah, he's told the story about. Curtis, you tell the story. I'll screw it up.
Actually, I'll just put the post in here, and you can actually read it off. It's too embarrassing for me to do it in person all the time. So
okay, and I'll try to read it in my best Canadian accent, eh?
Yeah.
I was down in my basement, eh?
I just posted the link in Skype, and if you go to the very bottom of that page, I've got the story of that.
All right, Nick, what voice do you recommend I use?
Oh Lord,
Canadian Schwarzenegger.
Here, I'll pull this up.
I'll be back, eh?
Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman. Now I will throw my voice out if I do that. All right, so here's Curtis's article here. So this is Ken Kalish, the guy who made the game, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is your interview with Ken. Where do I get to the part where we have your embarrassing story, Curtis?
The very end.
The very end.
Is my little story.
Okay, these are pictures. So here's a picture of the phantoms themselves. Okay, the very, very end. Okay, is it the bottom part here?
Yep.
Okay, so this is Curtis's little story about Phantom Slayer. Okay, and speaking of both Phantom Slayer and Knocked Out, I have a rather embarrassing story about playing that game. This would have been in late 1982 or early 1983. I was playing it downstairs in my parents' house. My CoCo was hooked up to a huge old floor model TV, and I had the volume cranked. I also had the room pitch black to help set the mood. I was having the best game I have had ever done, and the score ended up being about 1852, and had been playing for several hours. I had a pattern of long hallways, and phantoms had fallen into rhythm of always coming in the same spot, so even though they were taking extremely large numbers of hits, I could still get them by running circle patterns. At this exact time, the phantoms suddenly quit coming out of their normal spot. I tried running all over the place in my normal circular hallway pattern, trying to coax them out, but nothing worked. So I entered a corridor that I normally had not normally gone down, and just as the door to the rumpus room opened with my dad and Dwayne, a phantom killed me after being into the game for so long, and with that terrible death sound you put in the game, I literally fell off my chair onto the floor from complete fright. It scared you off of your chair.
Yes,
and
literally.
This prompted Dwayne to laugh and my dad to promptly ask, "What the hell's wrong with you?" That sounds like a dad question right there. Son, boy, you's about as sharp as a bowling ball right there, right? So for a while I thought it was just me, but at work here before the CoCo 3 that ran several. Okay, that's not Phantom Slayer, or is it still? Is that more
It's Phantom Slayer related.
Okay,
so that was a modern gamer who plays like Doom and stuff, saying there's no way an 8-bit
okay,
can scare me.
All right, okay. So you're basically saying the game scared you so much it knocked you out of your chair, and then for a while you thought it was just me. But at work here, one of the younger programmers named Jason, who's very much into Quake and Doom style games, claimed that there was no way that a game on a machine as primitive as the CoCo could ever scare him after being used to 3D sound, etc. He played the training mode for a few moments to get used to it and then started a real game, at which time Dwayne and I turned up the volume. He literally jumped when he died a minute or two later. Yes, yeah, that's cool. I had a similar experience playing Dungeons of Daggorath too. So we'll go ahead and we'll fire up Phantom Slayer, and I'll need you guys as my co-pilot because I'm still not that familiar with the game. Like I said, I played it one time in a live stream with Curtis via delay. Now this one
cover that, Bruce, since I already talked a lot about my stupid experience with it. You can be the co-pilot.
Sorry, what was that?
I said you can be the co-pilot since I already talked about my experience with it. But I'll let you co-pilot it for Steve. Sure. I don't think he remembers how the proximity detector works. So.
Oh well, then he's dead.
And this one, I'll try to play on a CoCo 3.
That's encouraging.
Now the colors might be a little bit off because it's on a CoCo 3.
Yeah, you'd have to do an RGB command first or switch to composite mode.
Whatever. This is not bad. Or is it? It's actually kind of cool seeing the phantoms in gray. Alright, so what do I do here? Select maze? Choose
do
one?
one. Yeah, two's too hard.
Yeah.
Choose speed?
Well, how quick do you want to die?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I want to die. I want to die slowly.
One.
There's Simon the Madman.
There's
How are you,
Simon. Nice, Simon. Real nice.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me. It's Original Gamer Stevie Stroh. You know, gameplay. To get your copy of a Gameplay Goodness Color Computer Gaming DVD today, head on over to 8bit256.com. There you will find several DVDs featuring color computer gameplay videos by the Original Gamer Stevie Stroh. So to get your very own copy of a Gameplay Goodness Color Computer Gaming DVD, head on over to the Retro Swag Shop at 8bit256.com and tell them the Original Gamer Stevie Stroh sent you.
Where can you catch all the latest news and information about the Tandy Color Computer and Compatibles? Oh yeah, I'm talking about the CoCo Crew podcast. Dig it each month. Join John, Neil, and Mike as they lay down the latest news and information about the Radio Shack Tandy Color Computer and Compatibles. Groove to interviews, tech segments, and discussions all about the Radio Shack Tandy Color Computer. Strut your fine self over to www.cococrew.org and start listening today. The CoCo Crew Podcast. Keeping it CoCo, dig?
You gotta love that Myro content, and there was more Myro per square inch in episode 31 of the CoCo Crew podcast. There was so much content in there. I don't know how the guy can squeeze out the stuff he does. I mean, every single production, it's quality, it's entertaining, it's informative. I mean, the man is a genius. He's an artisan. He's a true talent. So
it's kind of like the exact opposite of our show.
So I would like to very quickly raise a CoCoTALK mug glass that you can get your very own copy of on 8bit256.com. But I would like to raise a CoCoTALK mug to Myro and all of his awesomeness, because Myro is one badass mofo, I have to say. So yes, to Myro and to the CoCo Crew for providing us years and years and years of entertainment. There's Ron Delvaux holding up his mug. We're all holding up our mugs. So raise a glass to Myro.
I'm sticking with the official drink of the CoCo Crew podcast.
What are you drinking there? What are you drinking there, Jason? You drinking some freaking glass cleaner?
It was handy.
That explains how you were able to solve Forest of Doom. You did some performance enhancement there. I want to call shenanigans on this one here. We need to piss test this guy here.
You might be getting the other mug now.
And by the way, Eddie Serbinsky, how are you?
Oh, hello.
How are you? We don't get to have you on the show very often, so it's good to see you.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you fine.
Great. Oh, thanks. Well, I'm doing well, and thanks for all that you are doing, Stevie.
Oh, my pleasure.
And I'm always amazed at how serious people can be with old stuff like that. Sometimes I think I'm crazy, but I see that I'm not the only one. Personally, I'm more of the purist type, and I don't really get into newer things that are done for the CoCo. I try to stay with the original stuff, and mostly the CoCo 2. Because when I stopped using the CoCo, I switched to what I call the CoCo 4, which was the 10D 1000EX.
Okay.
So I never really used the CoCo 3. So I'm more of a CoCo 2 and a CoCo 1 fan. But I am somewhat. How can I say? I hope that this thing doesn't evolve anymore and solves in a peaceful way. It's everybody can do what they want. It's a hobby, and
right.
I mean, that's all.
Yeah, and I mean, you just pointed out, like, your perspective is that a CoCo 1 and 2 is your part of the hobby that you enjoy the most, and you don't really care too much about the rest of it. That's not a diss on the rest of it. It's just that's your focus.
Right. I'm in a similar boat because I got the Tandy 1000 right around the same time the CoCo 3 came out, so I didn't really experience the CoCo 3 when it was a current thing. I'm only experiencing it now. So most of my fondest memories are from the CoCo 1 and 2 era and most of those games. And when I programmed on BASIC, I programmed on a CoCo 1 and 2. So that's kind of my kind of time capsule life experience. I'm enjoying the hell out of the CoCo 3 now, but I didn't have an original frame of reference, so it's not deeply ingrained in me as much as it might be for others. Go ahead, David.
I was going to say, Richard.
Yes.
Have you gotten on Discord yet?
No, not yet. But if you're on it, I definitely am not going to get on it.
Oh,
so.
Come on. Let the record show I was not the one throwing poo at David Ladd.
Come on, why? Why do I deserve such criticism?
You know what they say, David?
Fun.
You only hurt the ones you love, so you must be loved a lot, David.
Well, that's your other problem. Is David involved in this forum thing?
Yeah, David.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Never mind. I'm out. Sorry.
Now listen here.
David's got his hands in everything. Have you not figured that out yet?
Oh, no, Grant. No, don't go there.
David's like the 1%. They control everything.
Didn't it used to be that Radio Shack was basically the standard for what we were getting, like ROM packs, whatever? And
of course,
we don't have that now.
Well, they're the 800-pound gorilla in the room. You had all these other companies producing products. I worked for a third-party software developer, and Zaxxon sales were okay. But when Tandy decided, hey, we're going to sell them through the store, the cassette version of Zaxxon just went through the roof. And yeah, it is the 800-pound gorilla, but we don't have the 800-pound gorilla. Yeah. So instead, we've got people like Cloud9 and other developers, and while they may not be 800 pounds, but I'd say Cloud9's at least 100-pound gorilla.
So why wouldn't there be some kind of a board of somebody getting together and making a standard for everything instead of just whoever is the slickest first?
Money, time, energy.
Yeah, but we get together to have a Tandy assembly. Couldn't we get together to have a Tandy standards?
standards and practices.
The problem when you have standards is when you get two people together, you're going to have three different opinions.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a lot of people.
Well, okay, all right. You want some sort of standards committee? I'm going to put you in charge. You're going to finance it. You are going to spend your time doing it, and you're the one that's going to take all the gruff from the people that don't like your standards.
And then meanwhile, someone's going to come up with another different standard and just go their own way.
So what's the outcome?
The outcome is right back where we are. Yeah. So
and even if it did, you'd end up with something that had so many different options and profiles that everybody could pick their own to develop a board, and none of them would work together.
Right. The only
Then-
the only standard is it has to work on the CoCo. But as far as that goes, it's their hobby, it's their project. They're gonna work it in a way that makes sense to them. You know.
And wasn't
JL. Oh yeah, here we go. We're gonna listen to John Linville singing because you got to have more Linville, right? So let's do that right now. I'm gonna switch over here. Oh, what a treat! This podcast has been a treat indeed. Here we go. Here's John Linville singing for us.
CoCo. You don't have to boot up OS 9. Now that we're older, we like to play deck B games. They're alright. CoCo. You don't have to boot that disc tonight. We'll play some Farfall or take Popstar Pilot for a flight. CoCo. You don't have to boot up OS 9. CoCo. You don't have to boot up OS 9. CoCo 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 boot up OS 9. Oh.
It doesn't get much better than that, and the only way it gets any better is let's hear Basic. Where did it go? Where's Basic? Mysterious CoCo. That was okay. Color Speak Ad CoCo TV clip. CoCo Renew. CoCo Group 2. Which one is this? Ah, that was pretty good. That's a long piece. I don't have the Basic one in here. Oh, okay. That was cool though. That was definitely cool. So yeah, another great podcast, and definitely having Myro come to the mix has been a nice addition to the show. Not only as him being another member of the crew and another speaker on the thing, but all of his value added content. You know. Oh, okay. Here we go. This is what John Linville's saying. So it's a Tandy 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, and 5000 display. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5K. It's one of all the Ks. Okay, so it's a 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, and 5000. Wow.
Got it.
Holy crap, do we need a big table for that with reinforcements to support the weight, probably. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, I think we had a good CoCo talk. We've gone over 3 hours now, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. Hardware has been a mystery to me for the longest time because I didn't get into hardware until I got into more traditional PC clone form factors, and that level of hardware is you literally replace the entire component. Like you replace the modem, you replace the graphics card. That is my level of component level troubleshooting and repair. I've never touched a soldering iron, and I don't know electronics. So it's really interesting, and I really appreciate you taking the time to share it with not only my dumb ass, but everybody else too, because it's kind of cool to break it down into relatable terms.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Likewise, and so it's go4retro.com, right?
It is go4retro.com, and we found out that what was it, David, that the IEC cables that are that they use on the Commodore are the same as the joystick cables. Is that right?
Yes, and that actually worked very well for my project, which, since you brought that up, I want to say something publicly here. I want to say thank you to you, Jim, and John Strong, and those who have been in the hardware area that has given me help to jumpstart my little project, since this is the first time I've never before built anything that's hardware that interfaced with anything else before.
Wow.
And remind us what that is again?
That's one of the reasons why. What is it, David?
Well, my project is a PS2 mouse interface to CoCo joystick adapter. So you can have a way to use a PS2 mouse on a CoCo.
Very cool. Yeah, I think one of the things that I notice is that there's this kind of snowball of inspiration and motivation that we get from the community, where one person's project inspires another person to do something else. And I think that video that Glenn Hewlett did is a perfect example of that, where, you know, something I did inspired Myro to make a song, which inspired me to make a music video, which inspired Glenn Hewlett to make a CoCo transcoded video, you know. So the fact that people are inspiring and motivating and even helping people do things, I think it says a lot about this community. I think, you know, everybody's trying to help motivate and inspire and you know, give people ideas and support and things like that, which is really, really cool, you know.
Cool. Impressive.
Yeah.
Indeed it is.
I agree. Thank you, Mark Overholzer. You know, the CoCo Crew podcast does such a great job of just recognizing people who do projects, you know, big or small. Just that sense of community, that sense of awareness. It's like a lot of things I hear don't sink in right away until later on, and it's hard to remember because they talk about so many things, and they're on 28 episodes now. I have heard so much in the way of news and tech segments. It doesn't all sink in, and you don't all remember it all, but over time, you know, in the past 2 years, I have learned so much about how the color computer works and what software development is like and what the hardware processes and stuff, and I am far from an expert in any means, but I feel much more informed and educated. I feel like I can have, if it's not a completely intelligent conversation, I can at least hopefully ask some somewhat intelligent questions to help raise my awareness. I know enough to ask hopefully smarter questions rather than completely dumb questions, and that's due to the podcast and the community and the mailing list and Facebook and all these things. You know, I think we're
Some people have big plans after school. You know what Elliot's going to do? Jeff, too. Elliot's at work on a book report using Scripsit on Radio Shack's Color Computer 3. It hooks up to his TV. And Jeff's at his Radio Shack Color Computer 3 playing the newest football game. But wait, what's Elliot doing playing new Super Pitfall? And Jeff's having a blast with a new math tutor. You never know what you might try with more than 100 programs for fun and learning. Radio Shack's Color Computer 3 comes with everything you see here. Other items each sold separately. Only at Radio Shack.
Hi, I'm Alan Huffman of Subbeat Software. I won an award and I have a cool shirt. And you're watching the original gamer do old stuff.
Hey, this is John Strong. Bleep, bleep, bleep. Blooper time. You're watching the original gamer, CV Stroke.
And we're back. We are back to CoCoTALK. After a word from our sponsors, it's good to see that, you know, Radio Shack is still alive and strong in 2017 and still cranking out those commercials and still have plenty of product for us to purchase. I think, you know, when I think of Radio Shack, I think innovation. You know, you have these companies like these wannabe companies like Apple who throw crap out there, but Radio Shack has never steered us wrong. They've always produced a quality product for the consumers. So,
yeah, with all the built-in add-ons you wanted right off the start, you didn't have to buy anything extra or add little hacks on.
Deskmate.
I have 2 questions I'd like to ask.
Okay.
Now I forgot what they were. This getting old sucks. I guess one thing is I'd like to find out secretly, are Scott Adams and Rick Adams related?
Well, Rick,
they both very brilliant game authors, so I'm thinking there's something genetic going on there.
Right. Rick, can you answer that question? I don't know. Maybe Rick has been replaced with a stunt double right now. I'm not sure about that. So hopefully Rick will.
Hello.
Hey, there he is. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. The question was garbled, so could you give it again?
I was wondering, are you and Scott Adams in any way related, sharing the same surname? Both of you
No,
are
we
really
are not.
around the same time. I'm wondering if there's something genetic going on there.
No. I am not related to Scott Adams. I am also not related to the Rick Adams who used to be the CEO of UUNet. There's a lot of Adamses that I get mixed up with. Nope, no connection.
The guy who did Dilbert, his name is Scott Adams too, right?
Well,
yeah, but not the same
Him
Scott
too.
Adams. Yeah.
Also, no relationship.
And no relation to the Adams family.
That's correct. Although the college group that I was going to announced my engagement to my wife by going up to the front of the room and saying, we have a very important announcement to make, and then they go da 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 dun, snap snap, da 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 dun. And the weird thing is everybody knew what it meant. Everybody all looked at us and said, ooh.
Good morning, John Robbs.
Good morning.
Good morning, Grant.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Rick.
Good morning.
Good morning, what's his face?
Yeah, who? Why is this camera in my face?
Good morning, Brendan.
Good morning, Steve.
Now, is it Donahue?
Donahue, sir.
Yeah, I know. I figured it out. Only screwed it up twice, I think.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Oh, look at the shirt! Yeah, dude! Dude, thank you. 9 o'clock somewhere. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. What so proudly we hailed, and the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night. I don't know the Canada version. Ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Play ball!
Now the Canadians sing.
Yeah. I don't know the Canadian lyrics. Oh, Canada. I just know the chorus.
Our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Play hockey! Oh my God, it's Alan Huffman! Oh my God! I love that shirt, dude.
I like this shirt too.
That frickin' shirt is awesome. Is it really? What's the link to it?
8bit256.com.
.com. .com. It's not a .ca. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
How are you? Ron Klein.
Good morning.
What is this physics?
Long ago, see no way down the holiday road. Holiday road, holiday road, holiday road.
Thank you for watching CoCoTALK, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color computer. For all things CoCoTALK, visit us on the web at CoCoTalk.live. We'd love to hear from you. Send feedback, suggestions, even segments via email to CoCoTalk@CoCoTalk.live. If you love the color computer like we do, then visit I'mACoconut.com for all your color computer needs. Consider supporting the show with a purchase of merchandise from our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, then visit our Patreon site at patreon.com/OGStevieStro. CoCoTalk would not exist without the community and its cast and crew. Thanks go to Curtis Boyle, David Ladd, Mark Overholzer, Grant Leedy, Bruce Moore, Rick Adams, Rom Delvaux, Richard Lorbieski, Jim Brain, Nick Morentis, Karen Anscombe, Simon Jonason, Wayne Campbell, Steve Batson, Brian Joyce, John Strong, and Barry Nelson. Special thanks to Steve Bjork for production suggestions and Brian Joyce for our Best of 2017 episode. Please help support the CoCo community by visiting some of its contributors. The CoCo Crew podcast at CoCoCrew.org. Glenside Color Computer Club, host of CoCo Fest at GlensideCCC.com. Jim Brain and Retro Innovations at Go4Retro.com. Tandy Assembly at TandyAssembly.com. Cloud9 Technologies at Cloud9Tech.com. Boyson Technologies at BoysonTech.com.